Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
It's an unhappy Devils Sunday. Now I'm all screwed up right now. Let me do that again. It's an unhappy Devils Sunday. This is Devils After Dark coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios inside the bunker in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey, and cross-continent to the Michael J. Fox Studios in the beautiful Beverly Hills, California. It's Scotty of SiriusXM Liquid Metal. As the Devils lay an egg again for the 9th time this season, losing to the eliminated New York Islanders 1-0 at the Rock Sunday matinee game. Not much to talk about, folks, so we're just going to end it. Just kidding.
Yeah, right? It's funny because Sam Woo is located at the same place as the Devils' offense and effort. An undisclosed location. Nobody can find them. Where are they?
I know. It's time to hit the panic button, Scotty says. Eddie, I got some opinions. You got some opinions, Scotty. I know our audience has opinions. I know John from JCB Architectural has opinions. Frank the Tank has some opinions of American whiskey. And, we ran out of Ann Crew Brew, thanks to you folks, at American Whiskey as well. More kegs are coming. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, no, thank you for supporting the old Ann Crew Brew over there at American Whiskey. We truly do appreciate it. Hopefully, you are enjoying your new favorite adult beverage right there. It was on tap. We've actually run out. Done sold out, Sam Woo.
You want to hear a funny story?
I don't know, do I?
Yeah. It ran out maybe a week or two ago, but I was too afraid to ask American Whiskey, was there something wrong with the beer? Whatever. And then I muster up the courage to ask Casey, who orders the beer. He's like, we ran out? Did we run out? I was like, I don't know. I thought you guys changed it, didn't like it. No, let me go look. No, they ran out. And the problem was the manager that was supposed to order it was going through distributors but didn't realize that he has to go through Departed Souls to get it. You got to go through Departed Souls, so he didn't realize it. So sorry, folks. Sorry you had to drink that other watered-down crap instead of the premium Ann Crew Brew where we celebrate winning memories together, one crew at a time. So maybe that's what's the reason for this losing recently.
It could be. It could be. Because Lord knows, no one knows what the hell else is going on with this team right now. Let's talk about it real quick, do a quick recap, and then we'll get into all of your reactions. And, of course, the king of the football calls himself, Sam by God Woo, because I know he's got things to say too. Not much to go through over here. Very, very lackluster effort from a team that's supposed to be getting ready for the playoffs. And that's going to be my big question once the playoff comes. Which team is going to show up? The Devils team from the beginning part of the year, who we saw reemerge in a home-and-home series against the Minnesota Wild and play a great effort to shut out their arch-rival New York Rangers, or the team from the second half of the year who just lost 3 in a row to teams that are eliminated from the playoffs, getting shut out twice in the last 3 games, by teams who are eliminated from the playoffs and have nothing to play for except pride. Now you can say, well, Scotty, it's because the Devils don't have anything to play for either. They're clinched up. They're locked into their position. Do you want to go into the playoffs on what potentially could be 5-game losing streak? Or would you rather go in hot? Personally, I'd rather go in hot with a lot of confidence. This team says, nah, let's lose 5 in a row. All right, we're not there yet. We're only at 3 in a row. Can't win 4 in a row, but perhaps we can lose 4 in a row. Good Lord. Frustration right now coming from yours truly. Speaking, hey, we always say here, we're fans. We're not professionals. None of us have played professional hockey. Shorts guys come pretty close. But none of us have played professional. Well, I guess Sam Woo, you played in collegiate too. So yeah, there you go. That counts.
Just so you know. Shorts guy and I have played collegiate club.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, and this is when I met Shorts guy, were in semi-professional inline back in 2004, 2005.
Okay.
I was on the roster, but I never played because I had to have knee surgery. True story.
Oh, okay.
True story.
Sam Woo's a scratch those days. I played inline, but only in my town leagues. I never made it.
I also want to point out that the only professional broadcaster on our roster is really Scotty, and if you want to count Bruce Zeman as well, at the point, that new podcast that we started a few months ago.
Do I even get counted as a professional? I don't even know anymore.
We're gonna have to ask Roger Allen Wade. I'll let him decide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's ask Raj. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
As Raj would tell me, this podcast is like one of his favorite songs. It ain't too good, but it's too long.
I got to meet that guy. Anyway, don't let me interrupt you. Go ahead.
Raj is the king of the one-liners there. So, yeah. Man, what an unbelievably disappointing effort. Wait, I think I said it wrong. This song ain't too good, but it's real long. Not it's too long. It's real long. There you go. I screwed up Raj's classic one-liner there. I shouldn't be stealing his licks. He's got his gloves on. Either way, Icelanders coming to town, officially eliminated from the playoffs. Dowling and Nemitz are back in. Lazar and Casey out. And tell you the truth, I'm fine with the Casey Nemitz. I think you should rotate them in and out of the lineup so they both get experience. I know in the hockey tradition and the hockey, classic thinking is, very superstitious. You win a game, you don't mess with the lineup or whatever like that. For me, I throw that stuff out the window. I would rather see Nemitz and Casey both rotating in and out because guess what? They both need the reps. One is not going to go in there and just completely, light the world on fire over the other. They both need their time to get their reps in and get their practice and get up to that NHL speed. So I think it was a good thing that you kind of rotate these guys in and out. And I would like to see more of that instead of the old, oh, we won. Don't mess with anything. They're young. They'll be fine. It'll be a good thing for them to sit up in the suite next to Sam Woo because we know he only sits in suites now. And just watch the game. Hell's bells. I know for me personally, I learned so much because my favorite seat at the old Prudential Center was sitting at center ice in the very upper deck, back row. We would get a crew of us, me, Beer Baron, and all of our friends. Be like 10 of us going to the game. That way we could stand up. We could move around. We were drinking our beers, having a good time, but holy hell, can you see the game really unfold and watch all the plays happen from that view? It's one of my favorite views going to a hockey game. Sitting at the Rock, center ice, back row, upper deck. You see everything. But either way, I put that right at the top here too. Which Devils team will show up today? The one that swept Minnesota, beat the Rangers, or the one that, well, we already know which one showed up. Either way, the Icelanders came out and looked like they wanted this so more than the Devils. I think the Islanders, did they hit 4 posts today? Maybe it was 3. And then the goal, I think it might have been 4 posts that they hit today. They get a goal overturned in the first period. So no score, nothing, heading into the second. Then we get the big news of the day was Paul Cotter getting the major elbowing penalty on Pelech there. It's kind of it was a tough situation. I think Biz broke it down pretty good if you were watching the TNT broadcast like I was, during the intermission about Cotter being, puck focused, looking down at the puck, not really seeing Pelech until the last minute. Obviously, it looked bad the way his arm flung out there, but I mean, I think they broke it down pretty well to see that he was on the opposite. He was on his right foot. He wasn't on his left foot, like leaning in. When you look at the other angle, you can see that his arm is tucked, and it's after the contact that he kind of lets loose. So it might have been one of those deceptive things right there. But either way, it was 100% an elbowing penalty, even though Pelech did have his head down on the follow through. Sometimes those things happen. Do I think it was malicious and he was going after Pelech headhunting? No, I don't think so. But was it a major? Yeah. So that is what it is. Sometimes that happens in the game of hockey. But Paul Cotter isn't someone who's been suspended multiple times or, has a history of headhunting or anything like that. I do think this was one of those just kind of like, bad instances where things just lined up on the ice out there. Cotter being puck focused, not seeing Pelech, playing the puck, and then on his follow through, his head goes down. It sucks. You never want to see someone take an elbow to the face like that. But again, I don't think it was malicious. And I think I heard Panger saying that Cotter came over, to the bench and everything. It was just like, my bad. That was not my intention, blah, blah, blah. And I guess, it must have rang through with the boys because he didn't see, Matt Martin out there running anyone or anything like that. So, as his job as the, Islanders enforcer over there. So yeah, tough call right there. But the one highlight of the day is the Devils only give up 1 shot on goal in that 5-minute major penalty. And I'm sitting there thinking, damn, that's pretty good for that PK. Maybe that'll give this team a little life. Nah, it didn't. It didn't. Because we head to the right to the end of the second period, less than a minute to go. And Timo Meier apparently is, throwing interceptions like he's the quarterback for the New York Giants over here in his own zone. Complete giveaway to Bo Horvat. And this was, I don't get it because Tebow's head was up. So I don't know how in the Holy Hanneman he did not see Bo Horvat like right next to him. But he tries to pass across to Brett. What am I, a clown? What am I funny to you? Pesci. And Horvat just picks it. And it's a pick 6 going the other way. Up into the top shelf corner past Markstrom for Horvat's. What has he got? 20? What was that? 28? Oh, my stupid NHL app just closed out here. Come on. I think it's his 28th, 29th goal. Where are my scores? Here we go. Bring it up. His 28th of the year, unassisted at 19:03. So, we know the Devils' best period is the second. Not today. And it has been lately, been a little trouble for them. But unassisted goal right there goes to Horvat off the interception from Timo Meier. And that's about it. I mean, only 9 shots for the Devils in the third period when they're down 1-0 to a team that's already been eliminated from the playoffs. They just looked like they were in neutral for this entire game. Snooze fest happening. Come on. Get your fans excited for the playoffs. Also, Carolina is not going to, just give the series away. If you think you're just going to march in there and play the way that you've been playing in the second half of the season, we said this the other day. The Devils are under 500 in the second half of the season. They are leaning heavily on everything they did in the first part of the season. And if I could just confirm here real quick, yes, they will probably be, it's not set in stone yet, but they will likely be the team. Well, it depends. A very good chance to be the team with the lowest point total in the Eastern Conference that has made the playoffs. Right now, Montreal, with the second wild card, is 1 point behind the Devils. Devils have been stuck on 89 points now for quite some time. They both have 80 games played. Does Montreal play today? Because they have been unstoppable for a while. They do not play today. They lost to the Sens, though, the other day. So they're both at 80 games played. Montreal with 88 points. The Devils with 89. Damn. I don't know. But that panic button is 100% pushed. And I'm not talking about the hypothetical panic button that we pushed and then all of a sudden they won 3 games. I'm talking about the real deal panic button. Because right now, the way this team is playing, they are going to get embarrassed in the playoffs by Carolina. That is my fear. Now, can they turn it around and start playing like they did in that 3-game stretch against Minnesota and the Rangers and the way they did in the beginning of the season? Yeah, they can. What's stopping them? I don't know. I really don't know. If you got any theories, any hypotheses, please send them to the old YouTube chat. Instagram, Facebook, X. And I know the man who just popped. You see how quickly he popped on the screen there as soon as I said, does anyone have any theories or hypotheses? Mr. Conspiracy Theory himself, Sam by God Woo, is going to have some thoughts on this process. And before we get that, I just want to say real quick, Sam, happy birthday. On a day that we are celebrating the guy with the most goals and most points in Devils history, Patrick Elias, happy birthday, bud. The Devils get shut out. And also, I want to say congratulations to Bryce Salvador, former captain of the team. His son made the U.S. I think under 17 team or 17-year-old team. I saw a post on Instagram earlier today. So congratulations to Bryce and his son for all his accomplishments. Who knows? Maybe we'll see him suiting up in the red and black sometime in the future. But now, what in the hell is wrong with this team, Sam Woo?
Before I get to that, Bryce's son goes to my old high school.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
Yeah. Also, the other day, I saw Bryce when he does his sprint across the arena. I actually followed him with my camera and videotaped him. I'm going to put a video out.
Did you have your was Mrs. Fields' cookie following along in the sprint? I'm sorry, I didn't want to say you because we know it wasn't you. It was Mrs. Fields. So was Mrs. Fields, sprinting behind Bryce Salvador, and could she keep up?
You're going to have to watch the video.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
A little tease right there.
I'll tell you, he runs very gracefully. He runs like a gazelle. He's so fast. It's so effortless while I'm like winded and about to hit the chair, in that dining area. Anyway, I will start off with this. Getting back to the that penalty Paul Cotter got.
Uh-huh.
It's like I think Pellick's head hit Cotter's elbow, not Cotter's elbow hit his head. I don't know. You know, they say that you're supposed to keep your head up. I know he was in the, you know, within that play. I don't fault Cotter there. I think it's one of these. To me, I found it to
like
be
some
more
unfortunate timing.
I think it was more of an incidental thing. It's like part of the game. You know, it's just one of those things. And the penalties were steep, Scotty. But they're trying to protect the head in the NHL. And that's, you know, and you know, Cotter was obviously remorseful. He wasn't, but he didn't do it on purpose. It wasn't like anything.
These things happen. It's a contact sport. You know,
but
like,
at the same time,
yeah, we said it doesn't look malicious, but
at the same time,
bad timings.
And I've had this issue playing either ice hockey or lacrosse or whatever. Sometimes when you see it the last second and you try to avoid it, you put yourself in the vulnerability of getting injured as well. And I've always had this philosophy: if you see another person coming, whatever, don't avoid, just hit, collide. Because sometimes avoiding puts your body in a vulnerable position at the last second. When I mean at the last second to try to avoid a collision, sometimes that's worse for yourself. So whatever Paul Cotter did there, there's really not much you can do for next time other than be more self-aware. But, you know, I thought that was a steep penalty there. Yeah,
I'm fine with it because if it was the other way, I would want a major for the Devils too. So, you know.
Yeah, but the 10, that's a little steep.
That might be a little steep, but yeah, I mean, I think the refs are probably trying to keep the game in check. If you leave Cotter in there, then you're gonna have people trying to go after him afterwards, and I don't know. I think it was a little bit of both. It's a meaningless game it really is a meaningless game for both teams, but obviously one team is looking to avoid all injuries as possible. As Joseph Lanham here has pointed out in the old YouTube chat, no one got hurt. I'll call that a win. So that was the one bright side of it, that no one got injured today. But I think that's maybe where the refs were leaning on that one. But yeah, I agree. I don't think it was malicious. I think it was just one of those like unfortunate timing things where everything just kind of lined up. It's the you know, to throw a word out there that we don't use quite often. It's a shit happens type of scenario.
Oh, my ears! I think the Devils are just too tentative out there at times. You know, they're just getting shut out again.
Ninth time, Sam Woo. Ninth time.
That's a lot. And well, here's something positive. It wasn't Nemitz that screwed up and cost the Devils the game. It was actually Timo Meier today with that giveaway. But other than that,
Timo Meier or Daniel Jones out there, I couldn't tell on that interception. I don't know which one was which.
Yeah,
is that Timo or Timo Dimes?
Yeah, well, Timo doesn't trip over his own skates, you know, when he has a one-on-one with the goalie.
Was that against the Eagles where he was running that like 80
Oh,
yard play,
yeah.
And he got to like the 20-yard line and then the turf monster just
yeah. That then and there, Scotty, I knew it was over for his career. I knew this is just bad. The optics didn't look good. I'm like, yeah, he may have the stats. He may have the intangibles.
What stats? He didn't have any stats either.
Well, at the time he did. You know, the analytics. I don't know.
We'll see if Timo tries out for quarterback for the Giants here in the offseason.
Well, you know, good news is Dougie Hamilton is practicing now. He was in warm-ups today. I know a lot of people want the football calls back, but that all depends on if Dougie can get back. But I don't even know what to think, Scotty, because I rather get all this losing out of the way, because these games are somewhat meaningless. The only meaning they have right now is
Is
for
to
the
get you
team-
ready for the playoffs.
Yeah.
To be in a good, to get you in a good emotion and good feel. I don't know, Sam Woo. I'd rather be shellacking these teams that have been eliminated with nothing to play for.
I'll do a positive spin. 5 minutes to kill off. They did kill it off, didn't they?
That was great.
Yeah.
Only one shot on goal. That was good. But like we've seen from this team, throughout the course of this season, they show these little glimpses, but the full 60-minute is not there. That's going to be a problem going into playoffs, man. Like, it's not going to go well.
It is. And I'm the dope that predicted 2025 a few years ago. Now it's just
you still have the
season.
other half of the season. Next year is still 2025 as well. You weren't saying if it was going to be, 24-25 or 25-26. That
was done. That was done by design to give me some room for error. That's what that was. Now everybody's all doom and gloom against Carolina. The Carolinas got inconsistent goaltending. They could be fabulous, or they'll get like what happened against the Rangers. They were up 3-0 against the Rangers. They were rolling, but they did give up 3 goals against the lowly Rangers.
But we're getting shut out 9 times this season. So one has got to give.
We're getting it out of the way. Look,
we're getting it out of the way. Okay,
getting it out of the way.
I think you and Steven Engel here are tag teaming up here, because Steven said team didn't try, big deal, saving it for next week. Okay. Serve is more with me here. We are in big trouble going into the playoffs. This team looks like Brian Boitano. All they do is spin on the ice. Thank you for the old South Park reference there. What would Brian Boitano do? Apparently what the Devils are doing on the ice. AJ Visco, I'm glad I decided to work I'm glad they decided to work on not showing up to the game. Man, Eddie says it's time to hit that panic button. Oh, it is. Oleg wants to know, Sam, are you going to take this team out behind the barn?
No, that's way too early. That's way too early for that. I mean, let's not panic here that bad. I mean, you still have the Bruins on Tuesday, and then the Red Wings on Wednesday, then a couple days break, and then you start the playoffs. Once the playoffs start, folks, it's a clean slate. All these games mean nothing. You want a little confidence and momentum, but if the Devils lose the next 2 games, and they're all doom and gloom, Devils fans on social media are pissed, negative, and just trashing the team.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard to stay positive when this whole second half of the season has really been a disaster.
There's a big but
under
there.
500.
But you could catch the Carolina Hurricanes sleeping, because they may not take the Devils that seriously. If they were going on a 9-game winning streak, they might think.
When have you ever seen Rod Brindamore be caught sleeping?
Yeah, you make a good point there. But let me just say, it's the players.
I hit you with the logic. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, fine. It's the players. All right. Okay.
Because at the end of the day, Rod Brindamore, as a head coach, has not won the Stanley Cup.
That is true.
So
that's very true.
So, he's a great coach. Yeah, I would love him to coach the Devils. I love his intensity and all that. But you know what? The Devils play better on the road than they do at home. And their regular season record reflects that. So, for them to have home ice advantage would actually be a home ice disadvantage, in my opinion. And they're going against the Carolina Hurricanes. They're going to start off on the road.
Carolina's really good at home, though. Like, really, really good at home. So I don't know. Well, Stephen Engel says the same for the next 2 games, and then they're going to flip the switch. And apparently we could all thank him afterwards. We will see. We will see. Poor Kennedy ordered a Nico shirt, and they sent it to the wrong. How dare they? How dare they? Gonna need something stronger than beer today. That's right, Eddie. I'm actually drinking my, I got the, right unleaded. Yeah. Actual real coffee. I've been trying to drink that, like, fancy schmancy mushroom coffee. So now today, it's Sunday. So, the regular unleaded here.
Hey, Scotty.
Useless game.
Hey, Scotty. I
What's
should
that?
probably text it to you, but I think there's something wrong with your internet feed, but, just letting you know.
Oh, okay.
It's a little choppy, but that's not your fault. That's not your fault. You live in L.A., and I'm sure there's a lot of people using the internet. You don't have rich man's internet in Beverly Hills.
No, I don't.
That's the problem.
Sam is too mellow. Let's hold hands and sing love songs. Thank you, Ariel. Canes in
What's that
6.
supposed to mean?
Taylor Hall in OT at the Rock. Oh, Wimpy. Why you got to put that on us? Nick Adams, his team can't beat the Bruins, Islanders, Sharks, or Ducks. Is going to beat Carolina? I mean, these are all fair questions. I hope the Devils don't get embarrassed. It'll be embarrassed going to work in Raleigh. Oh, poor Mike Rossi. Jeez. Down there in Carolina. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on, Devils. Think of Michael Rossi here. He's in Carolina, repping you guys. Do you want him to face that type of scrutiny when he goes into the office? Come on!
Oh, you know what? You know what I could do? I could play a love song for Mike Rossi.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yes, Pollock. I did. I got that Rise stuff. It's actually not bad. I drink it cold. It's like a cold iced coffee every day.
Truth be told, I'm actually allergic to mushrooms.
Really?
Yeah, I'm allergic to the fungus.
Okay.
And actually, I like mushrooms. I would love it on my steak. I would love it in my salad. I would love it in my soup. But I'm actually allergic to mushrooms. But if you really want to kill me, feed me some pineapples. I'll be dead in like what's about to happen with the Devil's season at this rate.
We'll keep you away from the Hawaiian pizza over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Rise stuff. It's not bad actually. I gotta say, I never realized how bloating coffee can be until I started drinking that other stuff, and then I'm like, oh, brr. Like right now, I feel like I have to burp like 1,000 times. But either way,
Mike Rossi's asking what love song.
What love song? You're gonna play "Love Song" by 311. That's what you're gonna do.
Oh, it is? Oh, I got something even worse than that.
No, please no Titanic. Please.
No.
Oh,
When Mike Rossi is at the cooler at work, I want to dedicate this song to Mike Rossi in Raleigh, North Carolina. Isn't that a horrible song? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, no. Do, 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 do.
Oh,
Devils. Anyway. What a horrible song. Hey, I'm trying to change up everything. I mean,
I know you're trying to cheer us all up, Sam Woo.
That's what we do.
I was hoping the team would do that, but they did not today. They came out and
they were flat.
They stunk.
They were flat.
Yeah. Now I'm hoping that they have that ability that Stephen Engel says that they do to just flip the switch and turn it on. But we've been waiting for that this whole second half of the season, and it hasn't really happened except for like a couple game stretch, and then they've kind of reverted back into, all those struggle modes again. So which team is going to show up in the playoffs? The first half team that, we saw, like I said, in the Minnesota home and home in the Ranger game, or the second half team that, has just lost 3 in a row to 3 eliminated teams from the playoffs? Which team's going to show up, Sam Woo?
This is what I would do if I was David Blitzer. Withhold their paychecks till they start winning. Also, I need to get in the locker room, too, just to get these guys fired up. I mean, they just don't look – they look so disinterested out there.
And, yes, Joseph Lanham, you are correct. That was a Cure song. But I was just referring to the 311 version. Sorry. Playoffs? Yeah. Flatter than an open root beer. Wow. Selecta.
Wow.
You know what I used to love that was Jersey style? What's that Stewart's root beer.
Yeah.
Like it was out I think near Flemington or something like that.
Yep.
They had the root beer in kegs. Oh my God, was that stuff delicious.
Yes.
Would go out there every now and then. When I would jam, I had a couple friends, from high school out in the Flemington area, and we would, be jamming and stuff like that. We'd always hit up that Stewart's root beer hamburger stand. I don't know if it's still there or not. Probably not.
No, I think it still is.
Really?
I believe, I'm not sure if it survived COVID, but I believe I was out there.
Sam's like, I was there last week.
No.
Old Tom from Stewart's. Yeah, he says hi.
No, I think it's still out there off of Route 31. I believe so.
He sends me a keg every couple months. I got it hooked up down here in the basement, in the bunker.
I'm sure John from JCB Architectural hangs out there. I'm sure he does.
All right, Joseph Lanham says, I think the Devils will be fine with this team against the Canes. Okay. Why, Joseph? Tell me why. That's what I want to know. Tell me why. If you're out there and you think that this team will be okay, Joseph Lanham, Stephen Engel, Sam Woo, if you think this team will be okay, tell me why.
The only reason
Sam, I'll start with you.
The only reason why is because I predicted 2025 4 or 5 years ago. So I got to stick with it for consistency. I just think, let's put it this way, and this is my hope, that what we're seeing right now, I don't think they're really trying, to be honest with you. I really don't think they're just not, they need to kick it up a couple notches.
Are they in preseason mode right now because they realize that they're clinched up and they can't maneuver anything? They are locked into this Carolina series.
Once it's the playoffs, you're going to see guys sacrificing their bodies to block that puck, right? And right now they're not really doing that. They're not physical. They're not whatever. I just would assume that by game one against Carolina, and some of these guys may have a little chip on their shoulders because they lost to Carolina in the playoffs a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And, I would say, with Rod Brindamore, his goaltenders, they may have some good numbers, but they're not really, they're kind of, if you catch them on an off night, you can put some pucks by them. And then you got Brett Pesce playing his former team. You would think that, he's going to want to make a statement. And a lot of these guys on the Devils are really, time is of essence. You got to win the cup. You got to give a good effort here. And I expect Nico to show up. I expect Palat to show up. Just for Bratt.
Well, I feel like Nico and Brad, they've been showing up all year. They can't do everything on their own, though,
No. But I think we're going to need Cody Glass to step up, Connor to step up. the third and fourth lines to set a step up. And we're going to see what Markstrom's all about. He's going to have to steal a game or two. You know, he's going to have to play well. But right now, I'm like, even me as a fan, I'm still in kind of like that coasting mode, because there's no point right now to finish strong and wear yourself out. But at the same time, I think the big question is, can this team turn it on when it counts, when game one starts against Carolina? And I think a lot of this doom and gloom is, I think we all have this sentiment and this sentimental feeling here that we wish Jack Hughes was part of this team right now. And he's not. He's not coming back. So you're going to have to deal.
That's something that Devils fans should be used to, though, because has Jack ever played a full season?
He's kind of fragile.
I don't think he's ever. I don't know if he's. I don't. Think
Hence why I wanted Logan Cooley, because of that reason. You know.
Well, either way, let's right here. Well, Michael Rossi was hoping for This Love by Pantera, so 333 right there for Diamond Vinny. Eddie says Stewart's is still there, by the way, and yes, sir. Faith No More did do an awesome version of Easy. Why it's easy. H. Jacob, the only reason why I think this team will be okay is because they remembered what happened last time. So as Sam Woo was referencing, the former playoff loss. Stephen Angle to the Carolina Hurricanes. Stephen Angle, because I've seen this team at times this year play lights out, poke checking, suffocating defense. Awesome to see. And that's what it's going to be like. Okay. He says the system is excellent when it's on point, but it hasn't been on point. Joseph Lanham, they have the hitters with the most hits in the league. They're tougher this time. Bratt and Nico are on another level. Luke is doing well. Dougie back. Nason all around. Big Mac if they need. Where the hell has Curtis McDermott been? Why? Again, and this goes back to something I said, and I know Ken Danico and Bryce Salvador have said it. When the Devils play more physical, the emotions are riled up, and they really swing with that game. And remember, what started it all was that Kovacevic fight. And then they ring off 3 in a row. And we all know the dreaded 4-game win streak got in the way there. There hasn't been as much physicality lately. Devils lose 3 to eliminated teams. Just put Big Mac in the friggin' lineup already. Is he that awful? Like, there's other guys that can sit for a game or two. I don't know. I just want to see some physicality out there. More than it's been, because it seems like once they start hitting and playing the more physical game, they get really entrenched into it. And that physicality leads to big emotions.
And they're playing 2 teams that are eliminated right now. Boston and Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess they're playing for pride at this point, playing for jobs for next season. Don't know. Interesting game tonight. The Blue Jackets and Capitals. Blue Jackets blowing by the Capitals, the BJs, 6-0 yesterday in Columbus. They're going to be on the road. Right now it's for that last wild card spots between the Montreal Canadiens and the Columbus Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets have, I believe, one game or two. Is it 2 games? One game in hand. 1 game in hand, I believe. Yeah. So that race intrigues me to see if Montreal is going to choke or not. But they should get in the playoffs. But you never know with the BJs. They've been hanging around all season long.
They've been hanging around. Do they play? I think they. Do they play today?
Yeah, against Capitals.
Okay.
Yeah, in Washington. So it's like a back-to-back home and home. And the Caps have been losing too, because they know they're set.
They're set, but they're locked into the number 1 seed. They're kind of coasting right now, but and for them, I feel like it's more important for them just to stay healthy with that veteran team But, I mean, Stephen Engel is saying shots. The Canes won't even get 20 shots on goal, probably close to 15. I mean, I would love to see that. But we've also seen the Devils, like, not blocking a lot of shots lately. Would they have, like, 5 against Pittsburgh or something like that?
No.
And remember in the first half of the season, we were having our, Slayer reigning pucks tribute all the time for the Devils. And to get the Slayer raining blood, raining pucks tribute, the Devils need to have 35 shots on goal. We've had like one of those in the second half of the season, maybe 2.
Mm.
The Devils have not been putting the shots on goal. They've been more, in this second half, more like a 20-shot team. And I get it. That could be the Jack Hughes and Dougie Hamilton effect right there. But still, you would hope that they'd be more closer to 30 than they are 20 most games. So I don't know. I'm just concerned. I want to see this team do well. I'm a fan. I'm just trying to be honest with how I feel right now. I'm worried by the way they're playing.
Yep.
I don't want to get, just swept out of the playoffs or something like that. I want to see them go in there and make some noise. If they're going to lose, then I'd rather see them lose in like a 7-game series where it was like really on the edge and it was a, really, really hard fought battle all the way through. I don't want to see like a 4-1 Carolina, win or something like that. Like, no. I want to see them win. Damn it. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned. And I know these guys are professionals and they can turn it on when they need to. And maybe they are just coasting because they're just trying not to get hurt or whatever. But I don't know. The body language, all the signs out there on the ice, it's just, it's worrisome. To me, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be. I've been wrong plenty of times before. Right?
Yeah.
I've said plenty of things on this podcast that in the next show I came back and said, damn it to hell, they just proved me wrong.
And I got proof.
There's plenty of proof of me being wrong before. Yeah. And I'm sure it'll happen plenty of times, after this,
It's going to happen on Sunday, tonight's podcast, the 9 p.m. Eastern edition, because Mrs. Woo whipped out the season predictions back in October. What you, myself, and Beer Baron were saying. Now, the season's not over yet, but pretty much the over and unders are pretty much been concluded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think we should, talk about that tonight.
Damn, my Dougie Hamilton's going to be off. He had to go and get hurt. Damn it.
Oh, there's more than that. There's more than that.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was laughing. I'm like, hey, I got all of them right. Of course I'm going to be talking about it on Sunday. Hopefully I'm right about 2025.
No wonder Sam just brought that up now. He's been holding on to that little gem.
Yeah, because this entire time I thought I was an idiot, but actually I might know a thing or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess spoiler alert from that, Scotty was wrong with a lot of his season predictions.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah. Let's just say we'll tease it. Be like, he may have one right. He might have gotten one right.
Maybe.
Hopefully. Find out at 9.
Yeah. Does Scott have any credibility whatsoever? No, absolutely.
And Beer Baron as well.
Oh, well, we knew that all along.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah. I mean, if he was right, probably Nikki did his predictions. I don't know.
Probably, yeah. I was hoping these little gray whiskers gave me some sort of wisdom. But apparently, not so much.
Yeah. All right.
Let's wrap this bad boy up. Yeah, let's wrap this bad boy up.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, on YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, and wherever else you might be listening to this podcast and replying. We truly appreciate all of your feedback and all of your input. We always say that's what makes this podcast and all the podcasts here on the Let's Go Devils network so special is your involvement.
Yes.
and your reactions, and we always try to get to them on every single show. So thank you, everyone who has been chiming in there on the chat.
Yeah. Also, I this past weekend I met the Anthony LaPena and his family. Met Tori. Met the kids, Tori and Maverick. Tori.
He made a guest appearance yesterday on the post game show here.
Yeah. And
He was trying to wait. What were we trying to bet on? What were we
remember.
betting on?
I don't remember. I forgot. We'll have to go
A
back
pocket.
to the.
We were going to do oh no, I think I owe you a pocket burrito because right, I said that they were going to win 3 in a row, and then lose the first game of the playoffs.
Well, we'll have to bring
not
out
have
that
the four-
clip for tonight. more things as Scotty says are wrong. But somehow, if I say it on X, I get murdered, even though I'm right. Just like when I tripled down on Lindy Ruff that year. Boy, I don't think it gave me credibility. But anyway. All right, well, I'm going to hit the button right now, Scotty.
Let's do it.
There we go. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
We are the world. We are the children. Yeah. All right. Getting out of here. We'll see you at 9 p.m. Eastern tonight for the Sunday edition of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Thank you to all those tuning in. Keep your head up, everybody. These games
Chin up.
don't really matter. Anyway, till next time, let's go Devils.